Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Calyn, the albino rhino Hull. Once again, the Trash Talk's winner of Knockout of the Year for 2019. We're here to talk to him tonight about the award and just what's been going on. I feel like talking a long time. It's just good to catch up with you. How you been?
I've been real well. I've been busy with wrestling season and training, and then I got two girls that are involved in their own activities and athletics now. One's on a traveling volleyball team, so I'm just always bouncing around right now with everything going on. But I'm doing really great, thank you.
Oh man, that's the crazy life of a fighter, coach, and father.
Yes.
Oh man, you probably don't get much time to yourself nowadays.
I got to do a lot of driving for some of my training, so I count that as my own time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get a little bit of time to at least. I mean, I don't know if you're one of those stressful drivers. I know a lot of my friends are, but hopefully at least that can be a calming moment for you.
Oh yeah, I just I gotta drive. I'm an hour away from Pure Vita where I train, so I gotta just throw on a podcast and just kind of cruise on over there just before traffic hits. So it's not a bad drive. It's pretty easy. And then also been getting work with Ben Rothwell. So from Pure Vita, I head down to Kenosha and work with him, and that's another 40 minutes. So just keep the podcast going and just nice easy drives. And it can be tiring, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, and I think all the real dads out there know that if you get in the car by yourself, that's some good meditation time.
Yeah, just a moment of silence to myself, and it's great. Yes.
Yeah. So we were speaking about the award a little bit. We touched on that. You won the award. Man, Knockout of the Year came. But TJ, you're the stat guy. What was the date of the fight?
God, I want to say April 27.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
See, that's why I have TJ around, because I can't even remember my own birthday, let alone, dude, I can't remember the days that I fight, but I definitely remember that knockout, and it was knockout of the night, and then turned out to be knockout of the fucking year, man.
Yeah, it was a real good night for me. I was able to perform very well at that moment, and I'm real happy, obviously, with the outcome of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead, Damian.
No, it's your turn, bro.
Okay. No, we were talking about this a little bit off camera. You talk about how it worked out for you. I'd say so. Off camera, I mentioned that this was one of the ones, because it happened so early in the year, that I'll admit was kind of going under the radar. If it wouldn't have been nominated, it might not have been the first one that came to my head, just because, there's always recency bias and things like that. But Damien and I unanimously, because when you send a message to the Trash Talk page, we both get those messages. At the exact same time, we messaged each other privately, like, "Oh man, that's the winner for sure." Like as soon as it was nominated, it was the clear-cut winner. What do you remember about that night? What do you remember about that knockout? And just talk us through it a little bit.
Well, as you know, Austin came up in weight to fight me there, and so I knew I had a size advantage, and I wanted to push his cardio, so I did that for the first 2 rounds, just keeping him against the cage, working the body, just making him grind and see how he could last. And it got to the point where it was more I had to let my hands fly, and I remember pawing that jab out there, judging that distance, and making sure I was keeping him as long as possible. And I know he was even just outside my jab, so I was aware that anything he had to attack with, he had to come in hard and overcommit. So I was ready for that moment to step in with that right hand, which I landed flush on his jaw.
Yeah, I would say. And I mean, man, that was an amazing knockout. We've talked about it with other fighters as well, and I guess we talked about it with Thomas Peterson. That's who we just interviewed. Hunter Peterson. Sorry. We talked about it with him, our amateur winner of Knockout of the Year. Sometimes those are the ones that you didn't necessarily feel it. And what goes into Knockout of the Year for us is the lack of the follow-up shots where it's not needed, where the punch lands and that's the one that ends it. Did you feel the punch land as hard as it did, and did you know it was over right away?
I liken it to, if you ever, I got to play some softball too. Sometimes you swing the bat and you connect to that softball and you don't even need to watch it go. You just know it's gone. I didn't know he was out right away because I looked up and we kind of made eye contact. So I just snapped and attacked, and I got a couple more shots in before that was done. But I knew as soon as it landed, it did serious damage.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, dude. Like I wish well, crap, I guess there is video up of it now, but the thing is that whatever it is with YouTube policies or whatever, I can't make my highlighted intros anymore. For whatever reason, they blocked all of the downloading websites. I've been trying so many. I like making the highlighted intros, but I wanted to have that one pop up on the corner of the screen, like right here or up there. And but man, now I'm really disappointed that I can't, because we're just talking about it. So the people that are interested in seeing this, go look it up on the Three Rivers Throwdown YouTube page. You might have to scroll back a little bit, but if you type in Calyn Hull knockout, it should pop right on up.
I do believe I still have it linked from my Instagram page, Albino Rhino MMA, so you can find it right there. You like that plug? Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that plug. So I mean, we talk about that. What's 2020 looking like for the Albino Rhino? We talked a little bit off camera as far as, right now you're in the heart of coaching. What's wrestling season looking like for you, and when can we expect to see you back in the cage, ideally?
Wrestling season's going great. The grind is going to take me through to the beginning of March, so I'm looking for April-May timeframe. So when I step and I can step into a camp completely focused on fighting with nothing else distracting me, if you will, for that. I love coaching. I love being involved in this sport. So I'm going to keep doing that, try and balance everything the best I can. Got a great Stoughton wrestling team, as I'm trying to represent as best as possible here as well. Number 2 in the state right now, and returning state champs. So hopefully we can see it again coming around. So it's a lot of fun coaching a high level team like this as well. So it just keeps me motivated and still in shape, because I'm wrestling with all the high school kids that I coach, and it's just it's, in a way, it's relaxing because it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm able to do that and train. I am living the dream. It's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Well, I was going to mention that too, like where you said that as soon as wrestling season is kind of over, starts to die down, you'll start getting into camp and everything. But it seems like you're kind of still in camp right now. Yeah. How out of shape do you get on the off season or the coaching season? I mean, like, do you feel a big difference when you start to come back and actually go into a camp?
A little bit, because getting into fight shape and wrestling shape is kind of slightly different. Like I got 20 years of wrestling on my belt, so I know how to wrestle tired. I know how to react there. I still got to work on learning how to truly fight tired. So my cardio and the breathing and the motions and everything's just a lot different. But it definitely helps if I'm in wrestling shape. When I step back into camp, I can keep going at a high level and keep pushing myself that way. So it's just I never truly get that out of shape. It's just a different shape and what I'm prepared to handle.
Yeah, I like what you said, because that's something that most people don't understand, is that I had to learn it the hard way when I took my first boxing match. The wrestling cardio, jiu-jitsu cardio, MMA cardio, and then boxing cardio are all way different. When you do each one individually, it changes things. Like the time where I wore a gi enrolled, I got way more exhausted than I ever have in my entire life, just because they can grab my gi, or they can grab the gi pants even. And I'm like, I don't know what it was. It was just because I wasn't used to doing it. And then also when I first went into my first boxing match, I thought, I can go 5 minutes in MMA or whatever. I'm like 4 threes in my first pro boxing match. It's nothing. Man, I burnt out my arms in the first round. It's like it is a different cardio, and
or a couple body shots later, and it just throws off the break. Yeah, it's all just so much different. Everything you take, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. And now, when you start to transition into getting ready for MMA and start transitioning the cardio routines and things like that, how long does it take you to kind of snap back into it, where it's like, okay, I'm back in the habit of things now? Because I've left the gym for about a month and then came back, and it took me 2 months to get back into the routine of things.
I think the biggest thing I have to adjust is the breathing, and so that'll take I would probably say comfortably a couple weeks of good mitt work and the level of sparring I would like to be at for something like that, as long as I maintain the shape I'm in right now. It's going to be not that long. So,
yeah. How much you walking around at right now? This is just I'm curious.
I'm usually somewhere between 245 and 250.
Oh, okay. Oh man, you're good.
I'm never cutting weight again. I'm good.
Yeah. I love that. Me neither, by the way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. So you touched on, just being in the wrestling room, the energy. I'd have to imagine just being around high school kids every day. That's a different energy in its own. Transitioning that with, being on a winning level team, the aura there, and then you transition to that to your home gym, Pura Vida. It's almost the same thing. It's the championship level team. What's the transition like when you come back into it? Is it more of the same? Just do you jump right in 5 days a week, or do you start back out slowly, making that transition from the coaching aspect into the training for yourself aspect?
Well, the way I have it split up is I'm at the gym usually Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I'm in the wrestling room Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, Saturday. We have tournaments or something going on, so I'm still involved with everything going on. So it's not that much of a transition. So once wrestling season ends, it's going to open up some more time just to get in the gym is all.
Oh, okay, good. Because I don't know why I assumed that you weren't training while you were coaching. For whatever I don't know. I just felt like for whatever reason, because I'm a dumbass, I can't multitask. So I assume that everybody else can't. Wow. I feel stupid now. I mean, of course you've been training, dude. You're a professional fighter. Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it a career. Absolutely, yeah.
TJ, continue, because I'm gonna say something stupid probably.
Oh man, I really you got me good there. But just so, I mean, you mentioned April, May here. Is there anything in mind as far as who, what, when, or where, or is it just anything that fits into that time frame you're looking to come back at it?
Oh man, just anything that fits in that time frame. I need to get back at it. I'm kind of getting a little antsy to get back in the cage with, unfortunately the last one didn't go too well for me, and just a long layoff from actual fighting. It's like, I want to get back in, but I also know I need to do it right. And I think that time frame allows me to do it right. So whoever's available and wherever's available in that time frame.
Oh yeah, I like what you said, because like the thing is that all fighters get itchy and they want to jump in, but this is a career and you got to be smart about it and taking the time, not just jumping right back into it. Oh, coaching is done, let's get a fight. If you don't feel like you're in the right shape, you got to do the right things to get back there. It's like, man, I don't know, we've all seen guys do that where it's like a lot of potential and then they take a fight a little bit too soon, and it's not even the fact of a lack of skill. It's just like, dude, if you had like 2 more weeks, you would have been fine. But sometimes that just a week difference will change things, So I mean, you're definitely playing it the right way.
People around me that are trying to help me succeed. So and with their advice and everything like that, it's just the right thing to do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit more about that. Like who, I mean, we know the coaches over at Pura Vida, but could you let all the fans watching know the guys that you're working with and the level of experience that they have that, I mean, ultimately, reflects the success that the gym has been having on the UFC, Bellator, and local level as well, man. I mean, wow, you guys have just been killing it.
Yeah, it's things are going really well with Jay Clip, Zach Odell, Solo Casa, the main coaches I work with there. I've since the beginning, I've been working with Alton Cunningham, as everyone's aware of. His skill level. So, he's always pushed me to be the best fighter I can be. And you've seen the success in gym with like Ode and most recently Montel just tearing apart. And it's just that's the level of talent we have in this gym. That's the level of drive we have in this gym, and it is infectious. And you don't want to be left behind in a gym like that. So you're always striving to be better. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that, and like you said, to have guys represented on 2 consecutive back-to-back weekly UFC cards. I mean, that just speaks to the level of the talent of the gym and the level of the coaching. So I mean, that's just something that you can feed off of. Like I said, even though those guys we talk about might not be in your weight class, I would imagine that energy is just contagious in the room.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, absolutely. And
Yeah.
occasionally I get to work with Montel sometimes, and it's just like if I can read and react to his punches, I know heavyweight punches are going to be so slow, and I'll be just fine.
He's so
So
fast.
there's
Well,
always something you can learn from somebody in those gyms, and it's just it's a lot of fun.
oh yeah. Well, getting a little bit back into you a little bit. The wrestling season, you mentioned it earlier that you guys were coming off of a state championship last year.
Back-to-back state titles.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Excuse me.
damn. See, now I keep putting my foot in my mouth, dude. Like, come on. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Back-to-back state. Sorry, what was that?
No, I was just saying I didn't mention back-to-back to you. I just said the one. So, but it's a tough road getting back to top when you have the target on your back. We are the number 2 team. There is a team that did beat us this past weekend, so we are striving to. There's always work to be done, and you can always be better. So,
Yeah.
it's how we respond to a rough past weekend as a team is going to be truly where we are as champions.
Man, dude, I love that, and I love the fact that they have you to learn from too. What's the wrestling program like out there? Because we look at your team Pura Vida, how they were able to build up a championship team or championship group of guys. But how does that work with the high school team? Because you're not actually able. I mean, I guess you're driving an hour to the gym. I don't know how far everybody else is driving to the gym. It's like you can recruit. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but like guys will be drawn and come to a certain area. How did you guys build up such a great wrestling program where you're at?
Well, I was able to step into a team that had some high level success. Stoughton has had a very historic program with them. Something like that actually starts at the youth level and training these guys young and getting them ready for when we get to that high school level. I don't have to start with absolute basics. I can start with more advanced techniques and just develop them that way. But a lot of wrestlers want to be at this high school because of the history it has. I mean, in the state of Wisconsin, we have the most individual state champions. So it kind of word of mouth, everything kind of spreads itself when you get to that point. And, iron sharpens iron, success breeds success. All those cliches are true for a reason. And it shows at a program like this.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I kind of asked that is because we have this, our districts are drawn up. They're drawn up. Wow, I don't even know why I tried to explain more of that. We have our districts drawn up, and certain addresses go to certain schools and things like that. And there was a few guys at my school, and I heard about guys at other schools that have also had really good wrestling backgrounds, or wrestling histories. Guys using fake addresses. I'm not asking you if anybody on your team does that, but is that something that you guys have heard of or you heard of people doing?
I've absolutely heard of it happening. Being an assistant coach, I don't really have to worry about anything like that too much.
Yeah.
I could just focus on, developing the team and being there for tournaments and everything like that. So I don't have to worry about the administrative end of this.
Sorry, that was just a curiosity question for myself because I don't know. I'm not as involved with wrestling as I was. Like I guess the year I graduated, I went back, but. So I'm just still like to hear people that are still involved in it. It's like I wonder what's going on in those realms and everything and stuff. I'm always curious to know. So that was a question for me, not necessarily for everybody else that's watching. So if that question wasn't relative to you guys, sorry about that. I don't know. I'm a curious guy.
It's a fair question to ask. Being a public school, we're not allowed to recruit. We're not allowed to do anything like that. We just we have to build our homegrown guys up from scratch. So and they've been very, very good at doing something like that.
I'd say so.
Now I ran out of questions, TJ. I had one like on the tip of my tongue that I was just about to say, but I thought you were about to say something. Could you Could you save me really quick?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the success there. We talked about you. Just before we wrap it up here today, unless Damien does remember his question, is just open platform. Anybody that you want to give a shout out to, and maybe cheap plug on the kids that you say are about to go ahead and win state this year. Open platform. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
You know, I always, with every interview with you guys or anything like that, I always like to say thank you to my family, whose love and support has always allowed me to pursue the passions and the loves and the dreams I have for this sport and wrestling or anything else involved in my life. So it's always a thank you to them. First off, I don't have any actual sponsors lined up for anything like that, as I've been focused on other things. So anybody listening to this wants to have the Rhino part of your team, I am more than willing to talk. You can find me at Albino Rhino MMA on. I'm most active on Instagram, so that's where you can probably find me best for something like that.
All right, man. Well, dude, I really appreciated having you on again. I can't wait to have you on again and again and again. You're so easy to talk to, and
as long as you guys will have me, I will keep coming on.
Dude,
definitely.
I mean, even when you're done fighting, we're probably going to have you back on because I'm going to have some more questions for the coaches. So
When I'm done fighting, I still think I'm going to be involved in the sport somehow. So I'll always be able. I'll love to answer you guys' questions.
No doubt about it. Be sure to reach back out to us, after the season does when some news breaks. We definitely want to talk to you again. In the meantime, wish you nothing but the best. All the fans out there, stop what you're doing. Hit that subscribe button right below. Don't be a hoe.